beautiful humans, and welcome to the Mental Wellness Wake-Up Show. I am your host, Dawn McMillan, the spiritual psychotherapist, bringing you wisdom from both spirituality and psychology so that we can all create lasting well-being. Thank you for being here. What I want to share with you today and what's on my mind is I actually have those Esther Hicks Oracle cards, and I pulled one to use as a bookmark, and it says, "My emotional set points can be changed." What a brilliant, brilliant topic for conversation today. Your emotional set points can be changed. If you're not familiar with the idea of set points are those homeostasis ideas and structures that your body puts into place to stay safe and serene and normal. Your set points are what feels normal to your body. So, for example, if you overeat sugar in order to get back to homeostasis, your body would release insulin. If you are running around and you're overheated, your body will release sweat to return to homeostasis. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about set points. The point at which your body feels familiar, safe, and comfortable, and the point that it will try to return you to if the balance tips more in one direction or the other. There's a book out right now about dopamine addiction. I'll try to remember the author's name before the end of the episode. And one of the aspects that she's uncovered in her work with addiction research is that when people are all doped up on dopamine, which we all are, our apps, our culture, our whole world is designed to give us dopamine rushes so we keep coming back, that a lot of people then experience the withdrawal from that dopamine and they experience pain, right? That's your body trying to reach dopiostasis, homeostasis, to return to your natural set point. And as with anything, if you consistently overburden one side of that equation, one side of the seesaw, you can actually move the set point. That's what happens destructively in addiction. We start overburdening our body mind with the substance, which then produces the euphoric chemicals. And then it starts to move our set point. And that's how people begin to need more and more and more, not even to feel good, but just to not feel sick. It's that, you start by scrolling your screen for 10 minutes a day. And then in order to get that same rush, you're up to hours a day. We see it with any form of addiction, whether it's gambling or porn or pot or alcohol or even approval. Those of us who are approval addicted, right? We start looking for those likes, or we start needing more and more people in our world telling us that we're great in order to feel okay. So that's an example of how your set point gets moved. Well, how can we use that in our favor? So let's say my emotional set point for anger, if there's 0 to 60, 0 to 60 miles per hour. If my emotional set point for anger is at 10, right? If I just need a little bit of stimulation and I get angry, that emotional set point is not serving me. So then I go to therapy and I learn about mindfulness and I learn about breathing techniques. I learn about reframing my thoughts so that they don't trigger anger automatically. And I start to move that set point to where what used to trigger me at a 10 now has to get up to a 60 before I actually begin to respond with uncontrolled anger. So when we look at this idea of set points, how do we move them in the direction that we prefer? Well, our energy flows where our attention goes. To what are you attending? What are you paying attention to? And this is going to tie into the power of the word I. In metaphysical traditions, we talk about the I am, that God's name is I am. Please don't get triggered by the word God. Insert what works for you. And in acceptance and commitment therapy, we talk about fusion. So what do these two things have to do with each other? Your I am, allows you to fuse with a thought, a belief, a feeling, an experience, and that becomes more real to you. So, one way to begin to set your set point is to focus on your language. It seems simplistic, but it really works. So, um, in Spanish, for example, they say tengo hambre. I have hunger. In English, we say I am hungry. Feel the difference. Feel the difference in that. I am hungry. You are fusing with the thought of hungry and you're anchoring your set point there. I am furious. You're fusing with the idea of furious and affecting your set point. So, step number one is pay attention to how you are using your language. What are you naming and claiming for yourself? I am old. Are you? Or maybe your body's just lived a lot of years. I'm stupid. Are you? I hate her. Whew. You're fusing with that. Everything that comes after the I am, or the I insert emotion words, is a form of fusion. So if you begin to think about what are you fusing with, you can begin to shift your emotional set point. One exercise that you can use, and this is one of my favorites, is to insert I am noticing that. For here's an example, rather than saying, I am so angry right now, you can say, I am noticing that I feel anger right now. I am noticing that I feel frustration. I am noticing that I want to scream. I am noticing. And the I am noticing is factual. That's one of the reasons it works, right? By the time you say something, it's because you have observed a sensation, a thought, or a feeling. So I am noticing is true, and that helps anchor it. And then it also helps give you a little bit of distance from whatever is going on. And that little bit of breathing room enables you to make a more holistic decision. I was about to say rational, but there's more to life than just what your cognitive brain can come up with. So, your set points can be changed. You do not have to be at the effect of whatever emotion, thought, or belief happens to present itself. We're so vulnerable to the things that happen inside our own heads. We don't have to be quite so vulnerable. We don't have to believe the thought that says, I can't do that. We don't have to believe the thought that says, everyone hates me. We can notice the thought. We can notice the thought. And those of you who are familiar with mindfulness exercises and meditation will recognize that sometimes as simple as, let the thoughts be like clouds floating by on the sky or sticks on the river. Noticing, I'm noticing the thought that everyone hates me. Ugh, right? And once you notice it, you're like, oh, I don't want to fuse with that. I don't want to fuse with that. So you can begin to change your emotional set points by beginning to change the way you talk to yourself about yourself and others. It sounds simple. It is. It may not always be easy, and I guarantee you, it is always worth it. So, one other thing that I want to bring to your attention about emotional set points really is about, don't get mad, mindfulness, meditation. We come back to them a lot because they are tools that work really beautifully. The more you become aware of yourself as a thinking being, the more you are able to choose which thoughts you allow to carry you away. We're all thinking all the time. The way that we get to emotions that are not helpful to us is we believe those thoughts. We will have a sensation come to our awareness through our body. Our mind will attach a meaning to it, and then we respond with an emotion. If you want to change your emotional set point, there's a couple of access points. One is the body. You cannot have a panic attack in a relaxed body. You can mechanically relax your body. You cannot have a fit of fury without believing that you have been wronged. You can interrupt that fit of fury by noticing what you are believing as true, what you are assuming is true. I did a series recently on my Instagram about cognitive errors. Cognitive errors, it's a kind of a strong word to call them errors, but it really is helpful. Cognitive errors are tendencies that we have that tend to create suffering. So, meditation, mindfulness, these tools actually work. And I know they don't seem to work for everyone. And my question to you is, have you tried a different way of doing it? The sit and do nothing and let your thoughts float by meditation works for many people, Zen monks among them. But for a lot of other people, your access to meditation and mindfulness is going to be your senses. It's going to be washing the dishes with your hands and paying attention to the temperature of the water and the feel of the soap. It's going to be going for a walk and noticing how the leaves on the trees are actually so many different colors. It's going to be mantra. I'm someone who does so much better with mantra, with chanting, than I do with just silent meditation. I've been working on silent meditation because I believe there are some benefits to be found there. And mantra works. That's one of the reasons why so many Eastern traditions have versions of that. And I also find sometimes that doing mantras not in English, make sure you know what you're saying though, not in English can help soothe my nervous system because my brain is able to focus on the sound of the words without getting carried away on the meaning. Or affirmations. Affirmations can be a form of a mantra. I am safe, whole, and well in this moment. I am safe, whole, and well in this moment. And if you really savor those words and taste those words and be with and in those words, you're doing a form of meditation and mindfulness. Ta-da! So I invite you to consider whether it would be beneficial to you to move your emotional set points. If you are getting carried away by feelings that you do not enjoy, perhaps changing what you attend to by focusing on your language, your eyes, your I ams, and giving yourself a little distance with I notice. And then that daily practice of meditation and mindfulness, whatever works for you. There's so many versions. There are even so many apps. I can think of 3 off the top of my head. And then there's Insight Timer, which has all kinds of stuff on it. So know that your current emotional landscape does not have to be your permanent landscape. You absolutely can change your emotional set points. So thank you for spending this time with me. Go out and try it. Let me know how it goes. And if any of this pinged for you, please like, subscribe, share, do all of the things. I'd be very, very grateful. I appreciate you so much. And please let me be the one to remind you in this moment that you are whole, perfect, and complete just the way you are. And you are already worthy and deserving of all good things. Until next time.